And 44,000 will get to reside in heaven, and all the rest who aren't annihilated will stay on earth. Right here, it's very plain to see that the Masonic Lodge has its own very distinct doctrinal statement. Then I want you to notice that Masonic teachings are accepted by Masons as authoritative dogma. That is, principles and instruction taught and held by their own body of believers. And Masonic dogma is not held by all others. That's exactly what dogma is, a distinct set of beliefs, and Masonic dogma is very distinct. Then, how can anyone say Masonry has no theology? Well, the definition of theology, theos, God, plus legion, to speak, is to speak of God. Masonry speaks of God, demands belief in God, informs each candidate that the true name of God has been lost, and then in a later degree reveals that lost name. In the 7th or Royal Arch degree, you can look it up in your manual, the lost name that is given is Jah, Bull, An, the joining of Jehovah, Baal, and Osiris, something that the God of the Bible strictly forbids. But I want you to listen to Webster's dictionary define the word theology and then compare that to Masonry. Webster defines theology as the relationship between God and the universe, a specific form or system as expounded by a particular religion or denomination. Now, does Masonry have its specific form, which clearly spells out exactly how one is to perform their ceremonies? Of course it does. It is the ritual. Then, can any truthful Mason say that Masonry has no ritual of worship? Well, obviously, Masonry has 32 degrees of ritual, but is the ritual worship? Now, I want you to look at Webster's dictionary, how he defines the word worship. Webster says worship is defined as a prayer or other rites showing reverence or devotion for a deity, for a god. According to this definition from Webster's, aren't Masons worshiping in every lodge meeting they hold? Then finally we want to ask, how can any Mason say that in the lodge they have no symbols that are religious in the sense of symbols that are found in a church or synagogue? Listen.
The symbols are related to the character of man to man. They are not related to God. We have no symbols that are religious in the sense of symbols in a church.
Well, as worshipful master and conferring those degrees for many years, I didn't look at it that way. I had a chaplain to my left, and every lodge had to be open and closed with prayer. Every lodge had to have a Bible upon the altar of some religion. Every lodge made the candidate obligate himself upon that Bible. Also, in the lodge, we have all various things and tools regarding religious worship. We have the plan of salvation through the working tools, the apron that I wear, telling me by my purity, life, and conduct, I will gain admission to the celestial lodge above. Over top of my head, the letter G, signifying deity. So as I taught it as a worshipful master, I saw Freemasonry really as having many symbols that would recall it to be a religion. In a church, you have a Bible and maybe a cross. In a Masonic lodge, you have a Bible, a letter G, and many other symbols that point to me, to religion.
In conclusion, tonight we have seen that Freemasonry does fit every standard definition of religion. It does offer a system of salvation. It does have a creed. It does have a confession of faith. It does have a theology. It does have a ritual of worship. And it does have symbols like those found in a church. Henry Wilson Quoyle, in his Masonic Encyclopedia, closes this debate when he says, "Nothing herein is intended to be an argument that Freemasonry ought to be religion. Our purpose is simply to